Dr. Wood, author of the book Miracles in Minutes. And I was trying to go live. I'm not very techy, so I have to figure all this shit out. But anyway, let's do a real short video tonight on starting to help people to improve their physical health, emotional health, and relational health. This video is for learning purposes only. I'm not taking care of you. Advice, what I'm talking about tonight is just informational only to help bring educational purposes and, see if it helps you or not. So anyway, physical health, emotional health, relational health, and financial health. How is that I can affect so many different categories in your life is because you have something called a brain. And if you understand how your brain works, then you start to understand how your life works and, what makes people tick, what makes you tick, what makes you come alive, and it can answer physical health problems, the relation health problems, and emotional health problems. So I'm going to first show you the triune brain concept. So it's triune, three brains. So it's real simple if you know evolutionary biology. Dinosaurs were here first, reptilian brain. Stacked on top of that is after came dinosaurs came mammals. That's what they said. That's what Darwin told me. and then there was the last one was the human brain. Okay, so that makes sense. There's a reptilian brain, mammal brain, and then neocortex. So now I'm going to go from a different angle, and I'm going to kind of move around in this video a little bit to help understand the concept. And let's just go to theology in the book of Genesis. And God's made Adam and Eve. He said, wherever you do, don't eat of the tree of knowledge. There was a serpent in the garden. Serpent in the garden, reptilian brain. Fear and pride. And Daniel Kahneman, who's a Nobel Prize laureate, he wrote the book Thinking Fast and Slow, talked about we actually have like two brains, two systems. He called this system one, it's very fast and impulsive, and system two. That's why the Bible says love is patient, love is kind, and that's why it takes you a while to be considerate. Oh, he's so considerate. He put some thought into his action, not just react, but was responsible. So there was a serpent in the garden. God said, what do you do? Don't believe the serpent in the garden. He's a liar. Don't tell the truth. And it's something in psychology, it's called cognitive distortions. So we have about 64,000 thoughts a day, sometimes more. 94% of those thoughts are the same thoughts you had yesterday. You keep thinking about the same shit. It's called rumination. And then 70% of those thoughts are negative. So the natural bias of mankind, if you don't grow up and take responsibility for your life, is to live a negative life, make really bad decisions, and fuck everything up. It's not going to go well. But this also causes us to have physical health problems. We, pick the wrong relationships, we eat bad food, and all that stuff, and we get sick physically and emotionally in relationship and make poor financial decisions. That's because we're down here with the old serpent in the garden. That's what's kind of going on. So God said, surely the day you eat of the tree of knowledge, listen to the serpent in the garden, said, surely you'll die. And so what happens is this area of the brain, the reptilian brain and the mammal brain, well, you don't die right away, but what is called the amygdala, or it's a threat response. So when you get a threat response, what your body does, it secretes out high adrenaline, because this is the survival brain. When you first got here as a baby, like a serpent, you weren't crawling around yet. You're kind of wiggled. You actually wiggled out of your mother's birth canal, called the spinal gland reflex, like a little snake out of the mama's hole. So it's just like a little serpent wiggling right out of the hole. And then, so then this brain, when you think about it, it needs baby needs food, water, shelter, and oxygen, to survive. And this brain also thinks sex. Okay. Because if we don't procreate, there's no more humans. So evolutionary biology is basic survival. Not only do we have a need for food, water, shelter, and oxygen, we also have a need for love. And there's an orphanage in, I think, Romania or Poland or somewhere, where they thought, well, humans are dirty, so we'll try to protect the baby, and we won't pick them up because humans are dirty creatures with bacteria and germs. And I think 60 to 90% of the kids died or has some sort of serious psychological issue because there was something about failure to thrive if children aren't touched, held, and picked up and loved. So we have this emotional need too. We have emotional need to be seen. We have emotional need to be heard. We have emotional need to be felt or gotten emotionally touched. And then there's the human brain, which is designed for relationships. That's where our words are, and that's where we, should I get a coffee? Should I not get coffee? Blah, 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 blah. So let's go back. So what happens when you get a fear response? Survival, your body will cut off the blood supply to your stomach and send all the blood to your arms and legs for fight, punch you, or run away to your legs. So that's where we start to get, knee problems, hip problems, spine problems, neck pain, and all that stuff. But also we get digestive issues and we get depression because 90% of your serotonin is made in your gut, serotonin, happiness. 70% of your dopamine's in your gut, pleasure, and also focus. We don't have anybody with ADD today, do we? Oh, look, a squirrel. Can't focus. And to be successful, you need to be able to focus. So if you have a chronic threat response, it also have high adrenaline and high cortisol. So God said, surely the day you eat a tree of knowledge, you become and God said, Adam, where are you? He said, I'm afraid. He's hiding. That was a shame. He was afraid to be himself because he was a sinner, which means he makes mistakes. It wasn't the fact that Adam made a mistake, it's the fact that he wouldn't take responsibility for the mistake. So being a sinner is not a bad thing. It's the fact that you won't admit your sin or that you make mistakes. So then you have a God complex and you act like you do no wrong. That's pride. That's arrogance. So the Bible said that, that the serpent, he was prideful. He said, I will sit on the throne of the highest heavenlies. He goes, you don't need a human brain. You could have this mammal brain instead, which is the only thing that it can do is duplicate. It can't create. So like in theology, God is the creator. From nothing, he created everything. Humans do that, like from Thomas Edison, from nothing. No textbook, I ever read no textbook on how to make a light bulb because it didn't exist yet. So from nothing, he created the light bulb. He became a creator. Nikola Tesla. There was everything Tesla did. Where's the college professor at? Who's the PhD physicist teaching that shit? He just kept creating and kept running experiments, and boom, from nothing he created motors and stuff that we use today, because Tesla was just being a human being. He was a creator. And so the only way you get to the creative mind, the human brain, is actually you have to be in a relaxed state. So if not, you get high adrenaline, high cortisol. Cortisol causes something called synaptic pruning. That means it gets rid of your cortex, your human brain. People have dementia actually they lose the cortex, the human brain. This is in the present moment. God, what's your name? Moses asked him, said, I am. That's like present moment. Eckhart Tolle, present moment. For you to learn, you have to be present. You have to be able to focus, and you have to be present. And you have to do that. You have to be relaxed. If you have a fight or flight response, it turns off this. You're just thinking about get out of here, fight somebody, start arguments. God says, surely the day you do that, you will die. High adrenaline also makes your heart beat faster, so you're more likely to have heart attack, stroke, and all that stuff. So just so much. And understanding the story of Genesis, understanding the serpent in the garden, the reptilian brain, understanding human development, that you slithered out of your mother's womb, then all of a sudden you became more mammal-like, babies start to crawl, all fours. Don't mammals walk around all fours? Dogs, giraffes, fours, elephants, you know what I'm saying? All fours, mammals. And don't babies go from slithering like a serpent, crawling on their belly like a turtle or alligator, and eventually they go develop to the second brain, terrible twos, more emotion, integrate the two brains, and then finally you have the human brain, which is not fully developed until the age of 24. So there's a little bit of brain science for you. The triune brain concept. How the more you start studying this, you can start to understand physical health, knee pain, back pain, stuff like that, gut issues, rheumatoid arthritis. Why do I get rheumatoid arthritis? Because of the threat response. Your brain has a connection to your gut called the vagus nerve. One of the 12 nerves come off the brain, cranial nerve number 10. And when you get a threat response, your brain turns off your gut because digestion takes a lot of blood supply. Well, if you're afraid, you need all that blood supply going to your arms or legs to get the hell out of here. So you don't digest your food. And so also your immune system is located in your gut. 80% of your immune system is located in your gut. So if you get afraid, God said, surely the day you eat of it, become afraid. Listen to the serpent in the garden, listen to the lies, which make you feel comfortable, make you get a big head ego, but you're underneath this fear, surely you will die. So since your immune system is located in your gut, and you have fear, you get gastroesophageal reflux disease, and your immune system's in your gut, irritable bowel syndrome, immune system's in your gut, high risk for cancer, autoimmune arthritis. Autoimmune arthritis, when you're rheumatoid arthritis, Sjogren's disease, all those things, because your body starts attacking itself. You attack yourself. You don't like yourself. You're suppressing your emotions, your chronic state of fear, chronic state of fight or flight and freeze. Surely, the day that you eat of the tree of knowledge, believe the distortions in your head that you're not good enough, and you think in black or white thinking, and you have all or nothing thinking, you have, minimization, maximization, you have catastrophic thinking, nothing, I'm waiting for the other shoe to fall, nothing good could ever happen to me, the current left-wing victim mentality stuff, it's not going to go good for you. That has you all threatened, and it's going to be really hard for you to become physically healthy, emotionally healthy, and relationally healthy. It's Dr. Wood. I hope this video helps you.